It's terrible. It's like soul-destroying. Mentally, you go crazy.
The audience's perception of Mick Jagger, the iconic figure of the Rolling Stones, underwent a significant shift when he openly addressed the rumors surrounding his personal life for the first time. By acknowledging these rumors, Jagger sought to dispel the notion that he was inherently dishonest, addressing each scandalous issue that had captured the attention of both the press and fans. However, in doing so, Jagger also unveiled a somber aspect of his existence, delving into the depths of his uncontrollable, tumultuous emotions. Just keep calm to listen to Mick Jagger's admissions. Mick Jagger once frankly admitted that he had been caught up in many scandals, especially his infamous interview many years ago. We all know that the Rolling Stones have evolved over the decades from youthful renegades to iconic figures in the annals of music history. In their heyday, they were the quintessential bad boys of rock, exuding an aura of danger and defiance that captivated audiences worldwide. Yet, behind the swagger and bravado, lurked a propensity for controversy that often ignited firestorms of outrage and debate. In 1978, amidst the tumult of cultural upheaval, the Stones released their album Some Girls, a raw and unapologetic exploration of societal norms and taboos. Keith Richards, the band's enigmatic guitarist, courted controversy with his tongue-in-cheek remark about the album's title, suggesting that they had forgotten the names of their numerous romantic conquests. However, it was Mick Jagger, the charismatic frontman, who thrust the band into the eye of the storm with his provocative comments during an interview. Jagger's brazen assertion that the Stones' next album would be more racist and sexist sent shockwaves through the media landscape, eliciting condemnation from critics and fans alike. In an era fraught with social and political tensions, such inflammatory rhetoric struck a nerve, igniting a fervent backlash against the band and their controversial frontman. Fast forward to the present day, and Jagger's perspective has undoubtedly shifted, tempered by the wisdom and experience of age. No longer the brash provocateur of his youth, he now navigates the complexities of fame with a newfound maturity and sensitivity. Regarding the family aspect, Mick Jagger once bravely admitted that it was his deception that caused his beautiful marriage with Jerry Hall to fall apart. The allure of Mick Jagger extends far beyond the confines of the stage, captivating the hearts and minds of some of the most iconic women of his time. From clandestine trysts with the likes of Brigitte Bardot and Tina Turner to lavish backstage parties that would rival the decadence of ancient Rome, Jagger's life reads like a hedonistic odyssey through the annals of passion and desire. With an estimated tally of over 4,000 conquests, Jagger's insatiable libido has earned him a reputation as a veritable make-love vampire, deriving sustenance and vitality from his myriad dalliances. His inability to remain faithful stems not from a lack of affection, but rather from a primal need for variety and excitement, a relentless quest for the next thrill that propels him ever forward on the carousel of desire. Yet, for all his conquests and triumphs, Jagger's romantic entanglements have exacted a heavy toll on his personal life, leaving a trail of broken hearts and shattered dreams in their wake. Perhaps most notably, his tumultuous relationship with the patient and forgiving Jerry Hall reached its breaking point in 1999, when news of his infidelity rocked the foundation of their union. The revelation that Jagger had fathered a child with a Brazilian model shattered the final remnants of trust between him and Hall, leading to her decision to file for divorce. In a desperate bid to salvage what remained of his tarnished reputation, Jagger sought refuge in legal technicalities, arguing that their lavish wedding ceremony in Bali had never been legally valid, a claim that the court ultimately upheld, effectively voiding their marriage. We can deny that Mick Jagger's romantic entanglements have long been the subject of fascination and speculation, but perhaps none were as tumultuous and scandalous as his relationship with singer Marianne Faithfull. Their 4-year affair, rife with passion, betrayal, and tragedy, stands as a cautionary tale of love lost amidst the chaos of the 1960s music scene. Faithfull, a sultry songstress with a magnetic allure, captivated the hearts of not one, but three members of the Rolling Stones, including Jagger himself. Their union was a whirlwind of drugs, debauchery, and infidelity, a volatile concoction that threatened to consume them both. As their relationship unfolded, Faithfull found herself ensnared in a web of temptation and betrayal, her dalliance with Jagger overshadowed by a forbidden liaison with none other than Keith Richards, a betrayal that would send shockwaves through the tight-knit circle of the Rolling Stones. For Jagger, the revelation of Faithfull's infidelity was a bitter pill to swallow, a stark reminder of the fragile nature of love and trust in the tumultuous world of rock and roll. Yet, amidst the chaos and heartache, Jagger remained steadfast in his devotion to Faithfull, determined to salvage their fractured relationship against all odds. But fate had other plans in store, as tragedy struck with devastating force. Faithfull's miscarriage, a heartbreaking loss that shattered their dreams of parenthood, served as the final nail in the coffin of their tumultuous romance, driving a wedge between them that could never be repaired. In the years that followed, Faithfull would reflect on her time with Jagger with a mixture of nostalgia and regret. Her revelations painted a poignant portrait of a relationship marred by insecurities and self-destructive tendencies, fueled by a toxic cocktail of drugs and alcohol. Yet, amidst the darkness, there were moments of fleeting happiness, a stolen night with Richards that lingered in her memory, a bittersweet reminder of the passion and desire that once burned bright between them. As for Jagger, his reputation as a lover would suffer a further blow when Richards made disparaging comments about the size of his anatomy, a humiliating revelation that left Faithfull with little to say in defense of her former flame. Now, let's talk about the relationships that influenced Mick Jagger the most, starting with Loren Scott. In an interview, Mick was forced to admit that Loren Scott's death had almost destroyed his spirit. Loren Scott cast a shimmering glow upon the elite echelons of Hollywood with her unparalleled talent and unwavering dedication. Her name resonated with a legacy of creativity and innovation, carving a niche for herself in the illustrious world of haute couture. Yet, despite her remarkable achievements, her narrative became inexorably intertwined with that of her legendary partner, Mick Jagger, the iconic frontman of the Rolling Stones. In the opulent tapestry of fame and fortune, Loren Scott's brilliance flickered like a beacon, illuminating the runways of Paris and the red carpets of Hollywood with her impeccable designs and visionary aesthetics. Her garments draped the most illustrious figures in the entertainment industry, adorning them with a fusion of sophistication and allure that became her signature. However, behind the veneer of glamour and success, a tempest brewed within the depths of Loren's soul. The relentless scrutiny of the public eye, compounded by the overshadowing presence of her renowned partner, inflicted a silent torment upon her spirit. Despite her outward facade of opulence and happiness, an invisible weight bore down upon her, suffocating her dreams and aspirations. Tragically, in 2014, the world was shattered by the devastating news of her untimely demise. Alone in her apartment, amidst the trappings of luxury that masked her inner turmoil, she succumbed to the darkness that consumed her. Mick Jagger, her beloved companion and confidant, grappled with an unfathomable grief, lamenting the incomprehensible loss of his lover and best friend. In addition, Mick Jagger also has a special relationship with the Queen of England. His journey to knighthood is a tale woven with intrigue and royal disdain, reflecting the complex relationship between the British monarchy and the irreverent spirit of rock and roll. In 2003, amidst much controversy and speculation, Jagger was bestowed with the prestigious title of Sir Mick Jagger, a distinction that would forever alter the trajectory of his storied career. The road to knighthood, however, was far from smooth for the iconic frontman of the Rolling Stones. Traditionally, knighthoods are bestowed by the reigning monarch of the United Kingdom, a symbolic gesture of recognition and honor for exceptional service or achievement. Yet, in Jagger's case, Queen Elizabeth II, the sovereign ruler of the realm, expressed a vehement reluctance to bestow such a prestigious accolade upon the enigmatic singer. Reports suggest that Queen Elizabeth harbored a deep-seated aversion towards Jagger, deeming him an unsuitable candidate for knighthood. Her Majesty's distaste for the Rolling Stones frontman stemmed from both personal and political reasons, with his close relationship with Princess Margaret, the Queen's sister, serving as a source of contention. Additionally, Jagger's outspoken anti-establishment views and his scathing remarks about the monarchy only fueled the Queen's disdain, further complicating the prospect of his knighthood. Despite repeated attempts by Prime Minister Tony Blair to include Jagger in the honors list, the Queen remained steadfast in her refusal to grant the coveted title. However, fate intervened in a twist of irony, as Queen Elizabeth's scheduled knee surgery coincided with the day of Jagger's knighthood ceremony. Seizing the opportunity, Prince Charles, the heir to the throne, stepped in to fulfill the ceremonial duties, bestowing the title of knighthood upon the iconic rocker in the absence of the Queen. The unconventional manner in which Jagger received his knighthood only served to underscore the tumultuous relationship between the establishment and the counterculture movement of the 1960s. His defiance in the face of tradition and his unapologetic embrace of individualism epitomized the spirit of rock and roll rebellion, transcending the confines of convention to carve out a legacy that defies categorization. We all know the legendary songwriting partnership of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards stands as a pillar of rock and roll history, but behind the curtain of success lies a tumultuous relationship fraught with tension and discord. What began as a harmonious collaboration between two musical visionaries evolved into a battlefield of egos, a civil war of epic proportions that threatened to tear apart the very fabric of the Rolling Stones. The first cracks in their relationship emerged during the recording of the Undercover album in 1983, a period marked by escalating tensions and mutual animosity. Jagger and Richards, the dynamic duo at the helm of the band, found themselves at loggerheads, unable to coexist within the confines of the studio. Their refusal to be in each other's presence reached a fever pitch, with each man demanding the removal of the other's contributions, a symbolic gesture of defiance that laid bare the rift between them. As the years passed, the animosity between Jagger and Richards simmered beneath the surface, threatening to erupt into open conflict at any moment. Richards, feeling slighted by Jagger's perceived indifference towards the band and his lackluster solo efforts, lashed out with thinly veiled barbs on his own solo album in 1988. A poignant reminder of the deep-seated resentment that festered within. The specter of dissolution loomed large over the Rolling Stones, with their turbulent relationship teetering on the brink of collapse. Time and again, the band found themselves on the verge of implosion, their collective fate hanging in the balance as Jagger and Richards grappled with their inner demons. For Richards, the crux of their discord lay in Jagger's relentless pursuit of control, a relentless drive to assert dominance and maintain his status as numero uno. Fueled by a potent cocktail of ambition and insecurity, Jagger's iron-fisted leadership style clashed with Richards' rebellious spirit, setting the stage for a protracted battle of wills. In the dead of night, Richards would awaken with a singular purpose: to craft biting retorts and cutting remarks aimed at putting Jagger in his place, a solitary act of defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. Yet for all his bravado, Richards remained acutely aware of the fragile equilibrium that existed between them, a delicate balance that threatened to crumble at the slightest provocation. When commenting on his own life, Mick Jagger simply summed it up with the word tragedy. First, the ill-fated free concert at Altamont stands as a harrowing chapter in Mick Jagger's life. What was intended to be a Woodstock-style celebration of music and community descended into chaos and tragedy, casting a shadow that would linger for decades to come. Altamont Motorway, a desolate and foreboding expanse, provided an ominous backdrop for the unfolding events of that fateful day. Far removed from the idyllic setting of Woodstock, the atmosphere at Altamont was charged with tension and hostility from the outset. As the Rolling Stones helicopters touched down, Mick Jagger was met with a violent assault, a grim portent of the chaos that would soon engulf the concert grounds. The presence of the Hells Angels, enlisted as makeshift security for the event, only served to escalate tensions further. What began as a menacing undercurrent of aggression gradually escalated into a torrent of violence, with the notorious motorcycle gang asserting their dominance with brute force. As the performing bands looked on in horror, the Hells Angels' behavior veered from menacing to lethal, culminating in a nightmarish crescendo of bloodshed and despair. Amidst the chaos, all eyes turned to Mick Jagger, the charismatic frontman whose commanding presence was expected to quell the rising tide of violence. Yet, to the dismay of his bandmates and onlookers alike, Jagger's demeanor remained subdued and tentative, his attempts to pacify the crowd proving futile in the face of mounting hostility. Tragically, the violence reached its zenith when a member of the audience brandished a gun, prompting a fatal altercation with the Hells Angels. As the horrified band members looked on, the grim reality of the situation became painfully apparent. Altamont had become a battleground, a grim tableau of death and destruction that would forever mar the collective consciousness of a generation. In the aftermath of the tragedy, 4 lives were lost, their untimely deaths serving as a stark indictment of the darker impulses that lurk beneath the surface of human society. For many, Altamont represented the death knell of the 1960s, a sobering reminder that the utopian ideals of peace and love were not immune to the harsh realities of the world. The dark underbelly of fame reared its head in a chilling episode that threatened to shatter the tranquility of Mick Jagger's idyllic existence. In the wake of the tragic events at the 1969 Altamont Speedway concert, a nightmarish descent into chaos and violence orchestrated by a faction of Hells Angels acting as security, the legendary frontman found himself ensnared in a web of intrigue and danger. For Jagger, the aftermath of Altamont served as a stark awakening to the perilous reality of his celebrity status. In a bid to distance himself from the unsavory elements that had marred the concert, he made the fateful decision to sever ties with the Hells Angels, a move that would have far-reaching consequences. Unbeknownst to Jagger, his decision to spurn the motorcycle club would incite the ire of a faction within their ranks, hell-bent on exacting revenge for what they perceived as a betrayal. In a chilling display of malevolence, they hatched a sinister plot to eliminate the iconic singer, targeting his holiday residence in Long Island, New York, as their battleground of choice. Their plan was as audacious as it was diabolical. Launch a clandestine assault from the sea, bypassing the security measures at the front of the building and infiltrating Jagger's sanctuary through the beachfront garden. Yet, fate intervened in a twist of irony as an unexpected storm descended upon the would-be assassins, casting them into the turbulent waters and thwarting their nefarious scheme. Miraculously, all survived the ordeal, but the experience served as a sobering reminder of the perilous tightrope that Jagger walked between fame and infamy. Though their attempt on his life was ultimately foiled by the capricious whims of nature, the specter of danger loomed large, casting a shadow over Jagger's world. Strangely, the details of the assassination plot remained shrouded in secrecy for decades, hidden from Jagger's knowledge until 2008, when a revelation by an FBI agent brought the chilling truth to light. The news sent shockwaves through the media, casting a pall of disbelief and horror over the public consciousness. The tumultuous journey of Mick Jagger through the corridors of fame and notoriety is punctuated by brushes with the law, a series of arrests that serve as a vivid testament to the rock and roll lifestyle he embraced with reckless abandon. From drug-fueled escapades to headline-grabbing altercations, Jagger's encounters with law enforcement have left an indelible mark on his storied legacy. The saga began in 1967, a tumultuous year that saw Jagger and his partner in crime, Keith Richards, embroiled in a headline-grabbing drug bust at Richards' home. The police raid, fueled by rumors of debauchery and excess, resulted in the arrest of the iconic duo, sending shockwaves through the music world. Jagger, facing a 3-month prison sentence, found himself thrust into the unforgiving glare of the media spotlight, a surreal ordeal that tested his resolve and resilience. Despite their initial conviction, Jagger and Richards mounted a successful appeal, ultimately overturning their sentences and emerging from the ordeal unscathed. Yet the specter of legal trouble continued to haunt Jagger, with subsequent arrests in 1968 and 1972 further tarnishing his reputation and cementing his status as a controversial figure in the eyes of the public. In 1968, Jagger found himself once again on the wrong side of the law, this time in the company of his girlfriend, Marianne Faithfull, during another drug bust. The ensuing legal proceedings cast a shadow over their relationship and served as a sobering reminder of the perils of their hedonistic lifestyle. In 1972, Jagger's penchant for trouble landed him in hot water yet again, this time in Boston, where an altercation with a photographer led to his arrest alongside Richards. However, their high-profile status ensured that they would not languish behind bars for long, with the mayor of Boston personally intervening to secure their release in time for a scheduled concert, an act of clemency that underscored the enduring allure of the Rolling Stones and their unrivaled influence in the world of music. Reflecting on his brushes with the law, Jagger describes the experience as unpleasant and kind of nasty, a sobering reminder of the inherent dangers of fame and the relentless scrutiny of the media. For Jagger, the arrests were not just legal entanglements. They were emblematic of a larger cultural clash between the establishment and the burgeoning youth culture of the swinging 60s, a clash that would define an era and shape the course of history. In addition, the Rolling Stones' tumultuous relationship with drugs is as much a part of their legend as their iconic music. While Keith Richards often takes the spotlight for his notorious drug use, Mick Jagger's own dalliances with substances paint a complex portrait of a rock star grappling with the pitfalls of excess and addiction. Jagger's encounters with the law in the late 1960s, arrested twice for drug possession, serve as a stark reminder of the darker side of his rock and roll lifestyle. Despite narrowly avoiding a 3-month jail sentence through a successful appeal, Jagger's struggles with substance abuse would continue to haunt him in the years to come. According to his former partner, Jerry Hall, Jagger's drug use extended far beyond the occasional joint. Hall recounts a shocking revelation from the early days of their relationship in 1977, when Jagger confessed to a year-long stint of daily LSD consumption and heroin smoking. The revelation left Hall disgusted, prompting her to issue an ultimatum: clean up or lose her. Remarkably, Jagger heeded Hall's warning, embarking on a journey of sobriety that would redefine his relationship with drugs and reshape his personal life. The decision to abandon his destructive habits was not without its challenges, but Jagger's commitment to sobriety ultimately proved to be a turning point in his life. Tragedies constantly follow Mick Jagger, and he admits that his father's death was one of the biggest shocks. The passing of Basil Joe Jagger in 2007 marked the end of an era, a poignant moment of reflection for Mick Jagger, the legendary frontman of the Rolling Stones, whose life and career had been profoundly shaped by his father's influence. Though seemingly disparate in their interests and pursuits, father and son shared a deep and abiding bond. a connection rooted in mutual respect and admiration. Basil Jagger, a puritanical figure with a passion for physical education, was far more than meets the eye. While his son would go on to conquer the world stage with his electrifying performances, Basil's influence loomed large in the background, shaping the trajectory of Mick's life in ways both profound and unexpected. Despite their differences, Mick and Basil shared a common love for music, a passion that would ultimately form the cornerstone of Mick's illustrious career. It was Basil who first introduced his son to the world of music, encouraging him to join a choir and nurturing his burgeoning talent as a singer. Yet, Basil's influence extended far beyond the realm of music, leaving an indelible mark on Mick's physicality and stage presence. It was Basil who instilled in his son a tireless work ethic and a commitment to physical fitness, laying the foundation for Mick's iconic performance style, a dynamic blend of athleticism and showmanship that would captivate audiences around the world. But perhaps most notably, Basil bestowed upon his son a genetic legacy that would become synonymous with Mick's identity as a performer, the iconic lips that would come to define his image on stage and off. Inherited from his father, Mick's distinctive features served as a constant reminder of the bond they shared, a connection that transcended the boundaries of time and space. The loss of Basil Jagger cast a shadow over Mick's world, leaving him reeling with grief in the moments before a Rolling Stones concert in Las Vegas. Yet, true to form, Mick summoned the strength to take the stage, honoring his father's memory with a performance that was both poignant and powerful. What do you think about the tragedies that Mick Jagger had to go through and how he admitted his behavior related to those events? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.